Hey, I hope the one thing that you get is that we live in just extraordinary times, and that if we are like sons and daughters of Issachar, we're going to make the most of reaching this next generation for Christ.
Signore, siamo qui per scrivere la storia del nostro Paese.
Lord, we're here because we want to write the history.
Ti senti pronto di far parte di un network cristiano? Ecco, questa è stata la domanda. Molti suggerimenti, molte idee, la mia esperienza, la nostra esperienza. Abbiamo parlato di Generazione Senza Confini. Io ti invito a far parte di un forte e sano network cristiano.
We just had an incredible discussion about reaching the next generation for Jesus. And here was the main thought that we walked away with. Since Jesus died for us, we ought to give our lives to our cities. So we're going to reach our cities in the generation, and we're really looking forward to what God's doing.
So in our session we were talking about how to have really deep conversations with young people using art and media as a way of creating the space to do that.
Hi, I'm Mary, and I want to say that you have to keep push the throne with your prayer to take your answer for the Lord.
Remember, you are God's child, you are a king's child, and your identity is in Him. And every time that you will see a ring or a jewel, you remember that God has loaded us with gifts, which I hope we can use for His glory and build living temples.
Okay, today I talked about new paradigms in children's ministry, things that are changing. I showed some tools of what we're looking at as far as where children are going and how they're learning, things that are participatory, customizable, co-creative, and digitally enhanced.
The main point that I want people to take home is about how to transition well. In life, in leadership, and ministry, we always have to pass the baton to the next generation. And I want people to go away, yes, challenged, but also excited about how God can be in this process and how God can help them transition to the next generation.
So the main point of my message today in this conference was the challenge of Islam. Looking at our continent, Europe, the old continent, we don't see Europe any longer as a Christian continent. In the beginning of the first decade of this century of ours, there are over 20 million of Muslims that they live in Europe. But we as a church, we need to find the biblical ways to re-evangelize this continent, to win these dear and precious people that have come in these territories in Europe out of all the demographic moves of the population. There are a lot of challenges, and we need to know that God is approaching us with His word to win the lost people in our time.
In the book of John, chapter 13, say that Jesus take out His clothes and then serve the students. So, in these years that we live, be ready to change your clothes, mentality, way of thinking, and to serve this generation.
My message will appeal to the heart of the participants. It's a message that is focused on dedication. What is the difference between people that make it and people that don't make it? People that can see the dreams come true and dreams that just don't come true. It is the word dedication. So it is my hope and prayer that this message will motivate all these young people to come back home dedicated to the vision and dream that God has given to them.
Hey, the big takeaway from my TED Talk is that in the same way that Jesus used parables and stories to communicate the gospel, we can use stories in a powerful way to connect the good news of Jesus Christ with this generation.
I'm here to talk about how discovery is the first step towards good ministry. And then on a national scale, I'd like to introduce a couple tools and projects that are going on to help us evaluate and to discover the markets that we're working in.